Donovan Kaufman, Auburn defensive back, joining us for the next few minutes here on the show. Man, I got to ask, how is spring going for you so far?
Well, spring's going great. The team is looking good, and this is honestly my best spring I've had since I've been playing football. So,
what do you think it is that's kind of setting this spring apart versus previous ones for you?
Just being my second year in the system. This is my first time in college where I ever had like 2 consecutive years at the same place. So that just setting in, and like I'm one of the older guys now, so I have to.
Right. Is that even the same with, changing coordinators? I had Leota on earlier in the week, and he talked about, it's a similar scheme, but he kind of mentioned that Coach Schmedding's language is a little bit different. Is that kind of been the same for the defensive backs too?
Yeah, same. The calls are the same. All he did was change the names of them. He kind of put it into categories to make it easier to learn. So like certain calls, like if you hear quarterback, it's for something. It's for something. If you hear color, it's for something. So like to put everything in categories.
So who's calling that? Or is it one of you guys in the defensive backfield? Is it a linebacker? Is it Cam Riley right now since Owen's out? What does that look like?
Well, no, we get the calls from the sideline, and then after we get the call, it's basically up to really the secondary to make all the checks.
Gotcha. So the defensive backfield, I mean, you guys, even though you lost some key guys from a year ago, like Smoke and Roger, I mean, a ton of depth back there. I mean, a loaded defensive back room at corner and at safety and at nickel as well. I mean, that's got to feel good, right? It's got to feel good when you kind of sit down for meetings and you look around and it's like, man, we got some dudes in here.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because, like, you might think it's loaded, but to us, it doesn't. Like, everybody we have can play. But compared to last year, we had a lot of DBs. Like, we really don't. It don't seem like we have a lot of depth to us. But, like, I guess to the public, like, because we used to having, like, 20 DBs. Like,
sure,
so, yeah, I think we got, like, 13 right now. So we got a little bit more coming in the summer, though. So
Right. Well, that seems to be something that's happening throughout college football with this transfer portal. And obviously you went through the portal stuff last year, but a lot of dudes are in spring right now, or a lot of teams are in spring with less guys than normal, less scholarship guys, because everybody's kind of sitting out waiting to see the lay of the land, where they're going to go next. So I'm sure a lot of places are seeing that.
Yeah, and then it's a lot of rule changes also that I'm hearing. I know, like, if you transfer after a certain date, you can't get the one-time transfer rule. So I learned that they put that in. So it's a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm just happy that I'm here.
Sure. Yeah. Right. And, Auburn fans, they were eyeballing you as soon as your name kind of popped up and you entered the portal from Vandy last year. A lot of Auburn fans were kind of saying, oh, man, this guy would be an instant impact dude. And, I mean, it seems like that's been the thing. I mean, was it a no-brainer when you entered the portal originally?
It wasn't. It was really between here and Texas.
Okay.
It's really what it came down to. Auburn felt like family. It was closer to home, and it was in the SEC. Also, Coach Mace was here.
Yeah, right. And I'm sure he was fun to play for, no doubt about it. So you mentioned you're one of the older guys now. What has that been like? I mean, I imagine that's kind of a shift mentally, right?
Yeah. Well, for me, I always did kind of like prepare as if I was an older guy, because I hung around a lot of older guys, like, when I was younger, like, just to see what it takes. So, like, me, my preparation always has been, like, heavy. I always been, like, in my notes, in my books, studying, going up and watching extra film, trying to bring a couple guys with me.
Mm-hmm. Right. And, I mean, is that something that's a year-round thing? I mean, even in spring, are you guys kind of getting a hold of tape and kind of sitting down as a group and watching it?
Definitely. You have to. Like, football is year-round. It's no off. It's no off season.
Yeah, right. And so, let's talk about some of your teammates. I mean, as far as the defensive back room, who's really impressed you so far? I know talking with Eku earlier in the week, he was really impressed with DJ James coming in and kind of grasping the system. Yeah. Have you seen good things out of him?
Hell yeah. DJ a baller. DJ is a baller. I love his play. Yeah. DJ, Caleb Wooden, you got Marquise. At the walk-ons, Nate and Tony, they even they balling, they doing good. Pug, we got Pug back there. Caden Bridges, he's stepping up. The secondary look good. We got John Reese. He's another walk-on. Simp, Mighty. Those guys, like, honestly, the secondary is coming along, and it's really, I'm not gonna lie, like, credit to Coach E, because like he really pushing us. Like, he want us to be the heart of the team, and like you can see that happening. Like, everybody is buying in.
Right. And I mean, was there any talk? I mean, Coach E, Coach Etheridge, there was a lot of talk of him possibly, it sounds like Georgia wanted him. And then he kind of said earlier this week in a press conference that, he wanted to stay put. He wanted to be part of, this thing that Brian Harsin is building. That's got to be something that kind of excites you guys too, right?
Yeah. Before, like, we didn't even hear, like, me personally, I didn't even hear about the Georgia news, but he said he called us on FaceTime, like, put us on the FaceTime call. He was like, "Yeah, I probably seen the rumors. He was like, I just want to let y'all know firsthand. I ain't going nowhere. It's just talk." So
he has really kind of emerged as an up and comer due to his recruiting, is what a lot of people are saying. I mean, how personable is he? It sounds like he connects the guys super, super quickly.
I'd say simple as this: it's hard to fake real.
Yeah, that's well said, man. Yeah. That's well said. So talking about it, you mentioned a guy like Caden Bridges. That's a guy that has been the topic of a lot of conversation since the updated rosters came out on Auburn's website, and he gained like 20-something pounds. I mean, is he putting in the work? Did he just hit a growth spurt? I mean, what's going on with him? What are you seeing for him?
He honestly probably did hit a growth spurt because when Caden came in, he was 17. So yeah. Like, he was still growing, but he is working. Like, he definitely putting in the work also.
Right. So talk a little bit, Donovan, about NIL Auburn. I know that's been something that's been a big deal since, the rules change and you guys were able to kind of receive money based on your name, image, and likeness. And NIL Auburn appears to be leading the way in the SEC as far as, making sure Auburn athletes are taken care of and compensated. How has that impacted your life?
It's a blessing, honestly. So NIL thing is a blessing. I didn't really understand what football, how big college football was until like you actually get into college football.
Right.
So, like, this NIL period is really just a blessing for players, our families. Like, it make things easier.
Yeah. It's a big deal. So yeah, props to NIL Auburn. And if you're a fan watching or listening right now, and you want to get more information about how you can make Auburn as attractive of a place, even more than it already is, go to nilauburn.com to check all of that out. So Donovan, you're a pretty versatile defensive back, and Auburn seems to have a lot of those guys. Where are you getting most of your reps right now? Are you at nickel? Are you at one of the safety spots? What has that been looking like this spring?
So yeah, I'm actually doing both. So depends on personnel. If we're in nickel personnel, I'll go to nickel. If we like in a base defense, I'll go back up top to safety.
Right. I mean, most teams now are pretty much, nickel's the new base, right?
Yeah, because a lot of 11 personnel now. So you have to run nickel.
Right. What do you guys think about the guys in front of you? I mean, the two edge guys, Eku and Derick Hall. I mean, it sounds like they're having a monster spring. I mean, what are your expectations as far as the pass rush is going to kind of be able to help you guys out in pass coverage?
Yeah, rush and coverage go together. I love the front line guys. Whenever I make a play, it's probably a lot of times because of them, to be honest. So, because a lot of picks come in zone coverage and off of QBs trying to rush throws, and I think we have one of the best D-lines in the country, personally. So, I'm excited to see what those dudes going to do. Yeah.
And then, as far as the linebackers with no Owen this spring, it sounds like Cam Riley's been all over the place.
Yeah, Cam Riley stepped up. Wesley Steiner stepped up. Eugene Oshante, I love how he played. Transfer from UNC. I love how he played. Cam Brown. I swear, man, the team is just like, it's really like gelling. Like, it's more of a team. Everybody is really getting to know everybody. Like, it's coming together. Everybody is bought in. I honestly think like the stuff that happened, all the rumors and stuff with Coach Harsin, it just made us closer.
It's so interesting. Every current player that I've talked to, without me even bringing anything up, you guys have brought that up and talked about how it's brought the team together. That's So, I mean, that clearly says something. I mean, is it the whole team? Is it kind of offense over here and the defense over there? Or is it really just the whole squad?
Man. Yeah, it's everybody.
That's great. That's great. So as far as playing against this offense in practice, what has stood out about TJ Finley and Robbie Ashford transferring in and Holden Gariner? You know, I've heard nothing but good things about the true freshmen. What has stood out about them so far?
I'll tell you right now, whatever happens, whoever gets the job, they're going to truly earn it. I think what Auburn has going on at quarterback situation is healthy for Auburn, period. I think TJ has gotten better. And I think he knows, like, he has competition, so he had to step up. So, and then we still have Zach Calzada. He's hurt right now, limited reps. But once he get healthy, like, man, it's whoever is one starting game one, they earned it.
Right. Yeah, I know Calzada's limited, and I've seen him do some of the drills just during the open media periods. Is he able to do any of 11-on-11 stuff, or is it all just kind of individual work that he's able to do?
Nah, he getting some 7-on-7, some team. I think he was in 2 minutes today, actually. He can get back there. He could throw the ball still. It's not his throwing.
Yeah, it's the non-throwing shoulder. Right. So I mean, it seems like he's grasping the playbook and kind of gelling with receivers and things like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The tight end position appears to be one of the deeper positions on the team, especially with John Samuel Shanker coming back. I imagine with you playing nickel or safety, you have to cover those guys a lot. What does that look like, kind of competing with those guys?
It's fun, especially for me, because I'm a small dude compared to them. So
sure.
So I'm a little feisty with them, real feisty with them. I always said though, if I didn't, like, if it was another position I could play, I would love to play tight end.
Really? Why is that?
Man, it's just like when you're a tight end, like, you could be a mismatch for a DB, you could be a mismatch for a linebacker. Like, you're just a big body. You could run, you could block, you could catch. Like, you're doing it all.
I've always thought about that. Like, if I was a defensive back, which I am the farthest thing from, Donovan, I cannot stress that enough. But if I was, and like you see a John Samuel Shanker like line up in the slot, or at the NFL level, you see Travis Kelce line up at the slot. Like, I got to be thinking like, oh my gosh, like I would think I would hate that if I was a defensive back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge, man. You love a challenge, especially me. Like, when I'm on the field, how I look at it, especially like critical situations, I always think, all right, the ball coming to me. So like every rep have to be my best rep. So when I see those type of things, I'm 5'9", so I know the offensive coordinator seeing the same thing we all see. Let's try him in the slot. So that's just an opportunity for me to make more plays.
Fair enough. Donovan, thank you so much for your time, man. Really, really appreciate it. I know you guys are so busy during spring, but best of luck with everything moving forward, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.